Big round of applause.
Hi, my name is Natalie, and today I will be speaking about college tobacco users. So, most of us have smelled a cigarette or know what a cigarette smells like, or as a matter of fact, we have inhaled smoke from another smoker, and that is actually called secondhand smoke. Secondhand smoke is as effective as smoking a cigarette because it does cause you health issues in your lungs. It can give you cancer as well, because more than 480,000 people have died because of secondhand smoking or smoking itself. I actually think that college students are exposed to cigarette consumption almost every day, especially on college campuses, because it is such a normal thing to have to see people smoke after class, before class, and there's even trashes with ashtrays on top of them so you can dispose of your cigarettes, and it's just a common thing nowadays for college students. And I also have a couple of college friends who do smoke cigarettes, and I've always wondered, why do they smoke cigarettes if we're barely 18, 19, around that age group? And I've always wondered, which is why I chose this topic to talk about. Okay, so secondhand smoke, as I said, is as harmful as smoking itself. So I wanted to go in depth about the problems, the causes, and effects that there is to smoking, and understanding them, to understand why students consume something that puts their health at risk. So you'd ask yourself, what problems can a college student have for them to smoke? Well, first it would be stress. A lot of us do get stressed out at school, or it could be at home as well. And people tend to use these cigarettes as stress relievers. Most of us, we play sports, we do something healthier than that, but some people just choose to smoke cigarettes. And it is actually not a proper way of relieving your stress. But it helps people, and according to Mark Nich's research in a 2007 article published by Tobacco Control, many college students claim that smoking served as an aid in alleviating their stress. The problem here is that they are looking for a way to relieve the stress, to kind of to get their weight off of their shoulders from school. So for example, if someone is nervous before an exam, they can smoke a cigarette before they take that exam, and that kind of takes that nervousness away. It can also be after, once they take that exam, and they smoke a cigarette after, just to finally, like, I'm over that. So many people tend to do that in college. Another problem would be falling under peer pressure. Most of us have gone through a situation where we're pressured to do something. It doesn't have to be smoking, or it doesn't have to be anything that has to do with like bad habits or whatever, but we've all been peer pressured, and it's a really uncomfortable situation. So most people fall under the influence, and they panic, and maybe they don't even intend to do it, but they do it because someone's peer pressuring them to do it. So a lot of people fall under peer pressure, and that's how they begin smoking. So now we have to recognize what causes these problems and leads these college students to smoke. Stress can be caused by schoolwork, and if it's something at home, it can also be caused by problems at home. But since they're college students, most of us do face stress because of schoolwork. So most people tend to deal with stress in different ways, but most college students are smoking cigarettes in order to relieve that stress. And in an interview by Nicher from 2007, that he mentioned in this article, Reconsidering Stress and Smoking, a student said, if I know I'm going to be stressed out, I have a cigarette, which makes me feel better. The problem here is that this student now knows what he has to do in order to relieve that stress. So we're college students, and we do get stressed out almost every day. So just imagine how many cigarettes he's gonna consume every day, which is a lot, because we do get stressed out a lot. Also, peer pressure caused many people to start smoking and to continue smoking, which can lead to you becoming a long-term smoker. So because you were introduced to this one time and you fell under the influence once, even that can just cause you to smoke every day, and that's a really horrible habit, because before you didn't have the necessity to smoke, and now that someone introduced you or pretty much peer pressured you to smoke, you now have the necessity to smoke. So peer pressure really is something that can affect you in the long term. According to a research by Zhang Longzhu published by the International Journal of Environmental Research in 2015, it was noted that 63.5% of college smokers believed that their friends were the source of the peer pressure for them to smoke. So they did admit that, yes, I was peer pressured to smoke, and that's why I am continuing to smoke. And what that does is cause these students not to, they're faced with the reality of either quitting smoking or continuing smoking, which is, it's a really hard decision because you're already into that bad habit. So now it's important to see the effects or the implications that will come out of students smoking cigarettes. So smoking to relieve stress can be bad because it can become an addiction. Because most of these smokers do not see the harm that is being done to them, because they think, oh well, this is a good thing because I'm relieving my stress, and it's a positive thing for me because I go to class and I focus more on this and that. But they do not see the internal effects in their body, which is either lung cancer, it can be any other diseases, throat cancer, it can be so much more than that, and they do not realize that because they are more focused on the mental being that it's the mental issues that it's helping them with. So it's very important for them to kind of understand the fact that smoking does not, it can relieve your stress, but it can also risk your health. And now peer pressure or being influenced once can harm your health forever, pretty much, because you're exposed to lung cancer and you're exposed to many other diseases, and because of falling under peer pressure once, you're faced with the fact of, I have this bad habit now because of one time that, I was influenced, and, what happened to me not smoking, now I'm smoking every day when this wasn't the reality before. So first I stated the problems that college students will have that will lead them to smoking, and then the causes, what caused those problems for those students, and finally the effects of smoking cigarettes. So whenever you or anyone else is stressed, relieve your stress in a healthier way, maybe not smoking cigarettes.